Good evening, Zimbabwe. Welcome to Live Talk, The Connection, a platform where we discuss issues affecting young people. We are coming to you from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington this Tuesday, July the 5th, 2022. I am Tungamili Nkomo. Tonight, we are back with more of our finest youths who are currently in the United States for a 6-week leadership training under the Mandela Washington Fellowship. This year's training started on June the 8th and it will end on July 17th. Na kwaziwa vatereri lichona njani sapho lweZimbabwe kusangana uku muchirongwa chenyu, chirongwa chevechidiki, chirongwa The Connection pano pa Studio 7. Nasi tadzoka zvekare nevechidiki vari kuno kuAmerica pari zvino pasi pechirongwa cheMandela Washington Fellowship. Lichona njani zihlobo ezithandekayo ikuhlangana kuhlelo lwabasakhulayo, uhlelo The Connection. Na lamhlanje sithe sililethele njalo abasakhulayo abaphansi kohlelo lweMandela Washington Fellowship. Lamhlanje ilabathathu uWenceslas Kudzai Katufa ose the University of Texas. Ukudzai ngumahlekisa is a comic. Sizoba lo Nkosana Nkomazana ose university efanayo usebenza lenhlanganiso yabaphakamisa insimbi okuthiwa yi-fit body kanye lenye njalo energy yakulezi insuku okuthiwa yi-Vios energy. And we also have the only lady, and we honor ladies, Uchipo Paradzai, Ose University, Appalachian State University in North Carolina. She's the founder and director of the organization Refined Hearts. Thank you all for joining us. And Chipo, you've been here now for, I think, 3-4 weeks. How has it been for you?
This is actually our 5th week. So far, so great. I've been absolutely inspired. First of all, I would say by the other fellows from the other African countries. They are doing remarkable work all across sub-Saharan Africa. And having that opportunity to get to meet young people from various countries such as Kenya, Tanzania, Nigeria, Madagascar as well has been absolutely inspirational for me. I've gotten to share some ideas with some of the young people to also get knowledge on how they have managed to impact their communities in the most simplest but yet very powerful and effective ways. So the fellowship has been simply amazing, networking, meeting also other Americans within North Carolina who are doing remarkable work in academia, in business, in civic society as well, has been something that I'm definitely going to take home. Also, the best part of it as well is we have been having lots of fun. So I'm really enjoying the fellowship because as much as it's something to do with leadership development, we also get to have fun, to experience America and its culture and what it has to offer.
Kudzai, besides the food that I know sucks very much, how has it been like for you?
Well, actually, I'm not that person with a big appetite, so I was not going to comment about the food. But so far, this place has got this mind shifting perspective that it has with regards to the way we view things back when we're in Africa. The people here, before we start even talking about, the opportunities, they are friendly themselves. You meet someone in the street, they're happy to strike that conversation with you professionally. They want to know what you do. They are willing to help and, connect you with anyone that may be able to be of essence in whatever you are doing. And also, I would say the academic courses that we are taking here are so powerful. When we're back in Africa, we are learning. It's more like cramming so that we just pass the exams and get our certificates. But the way we're doing our courses here, it's something that actually lets us understand from where we are coming as a people, as a generation, where we are coming from as Africa, and how we got to be where we are, what we really need to look at now in order to also make Africa a better nation, a better continent again. And also, I've been loving the networking sessions we're having here. We've visited a lot of places. We went to Dell, we went to Texas State Capitol, we've been to Capital Factory, and we are meeting very big people. In Zimbabwe, it's rare to run around these big fishes when we are home. But here, you can meet somebody who's big, who can change your life in a moment. And we are, rubbing shoulders with some of these people, and these people are willing to help. If they are not in your particular field, they are willing to refer you to somebody who can be able to help you. And also, I would say this place, besides it being hot, like this place is very, very hot. Right now I had to sit outside because indoors it's actually something else. But they are affording us the opportunity to see ourselves in the future. Austin is a young Silicon Valley, probably the next Silicon Valley, and it's something that has also made me realize that we have what it takes back home. We just need to, find the right methods, the right systems of putting that to use.
Nkosana, Kuzai says he's been meeting Nembinga Zekunogo. How has it been like for you?
Yeah, so I'll just add on to what Kuzai said. First of all, the city of Austin it's an upcoming city, upcoming tech city. So you find that there are a lot of young people, a lot of creatives, a lot of business people here, and we've been enjoying ourselves a lot. So you mentioned that we went to a place called Capital Factory. So this is an innovation hub, or whereby they groom in young entrepreneurs. You get almost everything that you need as a young entrepreneur under one roof. You find that if you go back home in Africa, yes, these places are there, but there are only very few, and they're not able to cater for all the entrepreneurs back home. So coming here and seeing that firsthand in such a big building where everywhere you turn, you find an entrepreneur, it was really an amazing thing. Yes. And obviously the food here, I myself, I was once a rugby player. I love my food. I've been enjoying the food a lot besides.
I always talk about the sugar that they put in pretty much every meal. Do you enjoy that, including in me?
Yeah, so I had an amazing experience with my Nigerian and Ghanaian fellows. So we went to a supermarket and we're looking for biltong. So little did we know, we just picked up packets and went to check out. So now when we're eating on the road, you had this peculiar taste that we're not used to. It was sweet. And then only to interview a few locals, and they told us, no, that's how they have their biltong this side. Yes, to have a bit of sugar. So
and if you give them biltong without sugar, they don't eat, because they're like, what the hell is this? They just don't do it.
Yeah, so that was an amazing thing. So every day we're learning new things about America.
Okay, great. Ngibuyele kuChipho. Kuyini okukodwa Chipho okubalulekileyo osukufundile ongathi emhla ka-17 mbuyela eZimbabwe yikho okumqoka engizahamba ngikuphethe?
Ngingathi engufundileyo is actually how to write grants. It's something that I had personally been struggling to do, and bengingela that knowledge ukuthi ama-grants wona ngawabhala kanjani, how to apply, and how to have the proper framework and structure to apply for e-funding for my particular organization. So ngingati one of the biggest takeaways for me grant writing, learning how to have an appropriate structure, framework to apply for grants.
I-organization yakho uthe lisebenza lamantombazana, ungachasisela uZulu kahle kahle ukuthi lenzani, libaphathisa njani abasakhulayo?
Esikwenzayo ukuthi we realized ukuthi ama-young women, in order for them ukuthi befulfill ama-dreams abo, they have to have the appropriate mentorship and coaching. So what we do, we focus on getting professionals from different spaces to come through and mentor them in their various fields of expertise, and also focusing on career development and leadership as well. So we want to make sure that these young women get to see a role model who is similar to them. Also, we try to catch as much as possible to try and get young professionals so that it is more relatable to the young women, so that they get to see that as young people, they also have significant roles to play within their communities.
That's Chipo Paradzai. Please do stay on the line, Chipo. As I bring in Wenceslas Kudzai Katuka, ngumahlekisa owebambiza ngo-Kadem, the comic. Kudzai, iwewe ndezvipi sofazwa ungati zvakakoshesa kwauri zvaungati watodzidza kunoku kuAmerica under the Mandela Washington Fellowship, uyezve ndizvo zvakakosha zvauchadzokera kuZimbabwe wakatakura?
The main thing that I've learned kunoku zvandanyanyodzidza ndezvekuti, you know, as a business, you need to sell yourself well. Back at home there, we are probably waiting for customers, for clients to find us. We are not really pushing that much. But when you are here, the people here, they work. Every day, they are reaching out to customers. They are reaching out to potential investors and clients. That's one thing that I've learned. And I've also managed to find a better way of how I can sell the business that we're doing, the comedy business, because here is a hive of the comedy business. There's a lot of comedy clubs, probably over 14 comedy clubs that run comedy shows on a daily basis here. We don't have that in Zimbabwe. So by looking at the model that runs here, these guys, you have a working model whereby they train comedians, which then feeds into the platform, into the comedy circuit, which then makes the comedian scene. And now these comedians now work with big companies and organizations. So it's just going to be the same model that we are going to use, except that now we are going hard and we are going in all. I've learned myself how to pitch, because these guys are ensuring that, you know, we'll be able to tell our businesses to anyone. You know, if you meet an investor, you need to say out your stuff in 15 seconds, in 30 seconds, which is something that I think is very important, because the people here are busy. In Zimbabwe, the same. It's rare to meet these big guys, but when you do, it's probably for a minute, and you just need to say something that will touch some part of their heart, so that at least they'll be able to help. But overall, my biggest takeout is I've understood the history of where we are coming from as Africa, because we have every resource that we need in Africa. It's just a matter of converting it into something that will benefit, you know, those people that are living in Africa.
As a comedian, unombotaura majokes ako here uchifunga kuti apa ndaro and nobody laughs?
Uri comedian ndara ukaenda pastage, it happens when you are starting. sometimes probably aunonyasogona ngogadzira joke racho zvinoitika. We call it dying kuti comedian akafa pastage because you would have done jokes vanhu vorega kuseka, but it's also something chinoita kuti udzidze next time kuti joke rangu ndatadza kurinyora or maybe ndatadza kuritaura mushe. Saka if you ukaona mukana wekuperforma nguva nenguva zvinokupawo mukana wekuti uve wakuziva kuti majokes angu aya ndo anoshanda kunzvimbo dzakadai, majokes angu aya haashandi. So ndo zvatinoda kuedza kugadzirawo muZimbabwe kuti macomedians edu anowana mukana wekuperforma frequently from time to time, so that paanozoendawo pabig stage their craft is ready, is good quality for our audiences.
And wambotaura nema-comedy clubs akazara ku-Austin, Texas ikoko. Have you had a chance to attend some of them? Uchimboona ma-comics ekunokuti anozvifambisa sei?
Yes, I had a chance. I actually did my first show last Sunday at a place in Onzio, the Creek and the Cave. There were other many comedians from this side who watch perform, and it's good because takaenda nemangu mafellow andinawo kunoku, so we're about 15 to 20 of the Africans that were also part of the audience. So for those guys, it was something that was new for them because kunoku vajara performera, diverse audiences, but not mainly an African audience. So it gave them another way on the jokes that they were delivering on that particular day as well.
And did you get a chance to perform as well?
Yes, I managed to perform there. It was very good. I enjoyed myself. I had fun because I was also learning. This is a new town altogether, mixed audiences, but it was packed and I enjoyed. Eventually, as a comedian,
Give us one of your best jokes.
Oh, okay. So one of my best jokes, I have a lot of best jokes. Ininangu from Zinzandrukuona kuno kune zvirikuitika kumba, I feel sorry for $1 because $1 should be depressed right now because zvarikuitika nevanhu kuZimbabwe nevalue yarinaro hazvimake sense. Because imagine being born in Washington DC and then you end up uri Braya Sispamela kuna avenues ekuna Chinaman. That's crazy. The $US should be very, very depressed right now. So I feel for it.
That's really funny. Isaga, and that conjures in my mind to my those $1 notes to nombona toka shiba tunenge tuchiwacha kuZimbabwe. I'm also imagining kuti kana tichifuka kuti we originated in America, pane vamwe vedu vari smart. How do they feel really?
Yeah, I know kuti anenge ari ma1 because mukada utasa $2 tato twakasviba kuti tinoita kupfuura kwakawanda polisi, kana polisi uchitambidza mabribe kuZimbabwe inokapeta, so pakanozosvika kwauri ma1. Now imagine conversation that they will have when they meet, when I'm going to bring $1 that is fresh from this side kuHarare, robva rasangana nerimwe $1 ragara rikoko. That conversation will be something that is
Ravana kuno kwanza, I'm fresh from Washington.
I'm fresh from Washington. It will be a very wonderful conversation, I tell you.
That's really funny. All right, Kuzai, please do stay on the line. Ngilete uNkosana Nkomazana. Nkosana, kuyinokubalulekileyo sokutholile so far lawe from i-program yakho?
Okay, into one eqhakathekileyo sengifunde kakhulu is i-inclusion yama-youth ku-economy. Into esibona nxa ukuthi thina singale in-Africa siyabona ukuthi abasakhulayo siyavalelwa phandle mathi sifuna ukungena endaweni ze-economy economy yelizwe nxa ukuthi sizama ukuvula ama-business, sizama ukuba part of ama-programs alokuqhubekela phambili economy nxa sifuna ukuba part of ama-conversations or to ukuthi sihlangane labakhokheli bamabhizimusi ngale ekhaya. We find that kuba nzima for us, and but ngapha what we see ukuthi wonke umuntu, whether ngowesifazane, whether ngabasakhulayo or anyone, even abakhulileo, they are part of the bigger goal, of which is to make economy even cool. So that's one thing that is ngifundile, and it's seen everywhere in the world ukuthi ama countries lawa pusha indaba ye-inclusion ukuthi wonke umuntu participate or angene contribute something ngomnotho welizwe. It's seen ukuthi aphumelela, but e-Africa masikhangela siyabona ukuthi abasakhulayo labesifazane kakhulu, they're not really included, and it's not just economy wise, and siyabona even la ku-politics ukuthi bavalelwa ngaphandle. But the one thing that I've learned ukuthi ma everyone engabiswa endaweni eyi-one, and we have ama-conversations and sizame ukubona ukuthi singaphuma lama idea kanjani ukuthi ilizwe liqhubekele phambili.
Siyabona usebenza lenhlanganiso ezimbili, i-Fit Body eyokujima eyokuphakamisa insimbi esingathi physical health.
Yes.
Kuzoba le Vios energy ekhangelane lamandla kagesi kulezi insuku esingathi clean energy.
Yebo.
Ungathi kokubili kuqhakatheke kanganani ku-economy yanamuhla kwabasakhulayo banamhla nxa sikhangela ikusasa esingathi i-future ye-clean energy, i-future yenhlalakahle yabantu nxa sesikhangela ezempilakahle?
Yeah, ma uthi siyabuyela emuva and sikhangela indlela esaqalisa ngawo amabhizimusi lawa labantu engisebenza lawo. So sakhangela sabona ukuthi nxa sibuya kundabani zempilakahle i-fitness, bala lawo abathi ngesilungu ngama-chronic diseases. Siyabona ukuthi o-BP, abo-sugar diabetes and all ayakhwela ngezinsuku, and imbangela ngikhona isimele ukuthi abantu abasadli kahle and abantu njalo abasasebenzi or abasa-exercise njengakudala. Kudala abantu babesidla izinto ezakha umzimba and izithwala zemabele, onyawuthi, but now masibona khathesi ukuthi izinto lezi asisazidli, and even indlela esisebenza ngazo kudala sesijintshile. Abantu sesona sihleze ema-ofisini ngemva kwama-computer, so umsebenzi awusekho lwana oyenza umzimba ukuthi usebenze kakhulu. So inkinga esuke khona lapha ukuthi now then sesithola-ke imikhuhlane le esasingeyela layo kudala, sabona ukuthi imikhuhlane entsha esikhona e-Africa. So we're trying ukuthi sisolve udaba lolu, just to try to get people to eat healthy, abantu ba-exercise, bagijime. So into esizama ukuthi sizipromote eZimbabwe. Then sibuya-ke lapha kule i-Vios energy eka-gas. So siyabona ukuthi singoda umuntu usetown or abasemakhaya sile problem yezesa or amagetsi ahlale engekho, amagetsi ahamba, and abasemakhaya futhi inkinga ayisem ngoba sasisebenzisa inkuni and all. But kade sesibona ukuthi kulale bayithi deforestation, amaganga ethu sephela, and sokubangela izinto eziningi ezinjengathi ngabo-soil erosion, ukuguda komhlaba and all. So thina esikuzama ukuthola ukuthi sizame ukupromota indlela ezintsha ezokusebenza i-energy. So sizama ukuthi sipromote ukusetshenziswa kwegasi engathi ingcono ukuphakamisa i-environment yethu. So Sounds were just advocating for the use of LPG. It's the same lava semaphandleni.
Okay, saka nkosana kana tichitarisa inyaya ye-physical fitness vis-a-vis nyaya yekushandiswa kwezvinodhaka nevechidiki vemazuva ano. We know pane drug abuse yakawanda iri kuitika Bulawayo, Harare, maguta akawanda-wanda. Ungati nyaya ye-fitness yakakosha sei panyaya dzekurwisana nekushandiswa kwezvinodhaka zvisiri pamutemo?
Yeah, inyaya yakakosha zvikuru because patobva kuHarare nekumaguta ese muZimbabwe tikuona kuti vechidiki vakunyanya kushandisa zvinodhaka too much, and it's coming from a problem, a lack of unemployment and all. So we find that by providing into the fitness and all, we give them an alternative thing to get into. You find that umuntu nxa belento yokwenza, if you are looking forward to something, kuba ngcono ukuthi bathola something to do during the time that ukuthola behlezi emabridgini besebenzisa izinto ezidakayo. So you find that ukuthi e-sport, if you look world over, it's very good for solving some of these societal issues. If you look back even in Mandela, he said this sport is what is uniting people. So you find that we can use this into saying about sport and all and fitness just to get the youth off the streets and for them to be healthy and just try to solve some of the mental challenges that they are going through and depression as well.
Chipo, I know Kunoko, you stayed with you've made my contacts, networking and so forth. Then Zimbabwe, I know Gutinyaya, say Muna no Shanda Nevana Sigana. I know Gutinyaya ye Kurods, Akwevana, cannot my child marriages. Inyaya ino neza Rikuru. How close is that issue to your heart?
It's a very touching issue to me. Because I'm really passionate about seeing young women and girls, let me say, instead of saying young women and girls really fulfilling their dreams, becoming all that they are meant to be. So if you are going to take a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old and marry her off to a 40-year-old man, it is not going to give her the liberty to fulfill her dreams. She won't have the liberty to be able to continue her education. She won't have the liberty to one day take up a leadership role because she's so busy at a point where she should be gaining education, at a point where she should be, getting mentored, getting coached. She's instead becoming a mother, a wife, and having no chance at all whatsoever to have that opportunity to actually dream big and to say, this is what I want to do with my life. So child marriage is really, they touch me to the core because they hinder the potential of girls. They hinder the growth of young women's dreams. Child marriages, they stifle the voices of girls, of young girls. So my child marriages, they really affect me to the core. And as someone who is passionate about seeing girls and women fulfill their dreams, this is something that is one of our future goals to work on in my organization.
Ko nyaya yekusimudzwa kwe-age of consent kwakaitika, was it last month or last month? Uri kuona zvichibatsira here pakurwisana nedambudziko iri?
Ndinoona zvichibatsira, but at the end of the day, it's good that the law has put that down. But at the end of the day, I believe kuti nyaya idzi, we now need to try and look at them at a social norms and values level, where we are now trying to change the narratives that are there when it comes to age of consent. Because as much as the law might have put it down, we now need to go at family levels, to go at community levels, and to change certain ways of thinking, which are the norms and values. Because as much as we might have that legalized, we now need to go out into the communities and change the different ways of thinking around that.
Anzi, each society kudzai ine matambudziko ayo. Ikunoku kuAmerica vechidiki, and indeed everyone, we also have our own problems, but pane dambudziko rakanyanya re-drug abuse, pane dambudziko rakanyanya re-violence, gun violence, vechidiki vari kuurayana, Chicago, DC, different places. Have you had that chance yekuongorora matambudziko ari kusangana nevechidiki kunoko kudzai umbokompeawo nezviri kuitika kuZimbabwe woona kuti zviri kufamba sei?
So in terms of matambudziko ari kuitika, it's real. But like what Kosana said, mainly inyaya yekuti vechidiki havana kwekuenda kana vapedza kudzidza, havana mabasa ekunoita, because mabasa acho kunze uko kunenge kusina, which is one thing that is different from our side and kunoku America. Kunoku America, if you have your qualifications, you're not going to be sitting in the streets which does drugs, because you've got something that is keeping you busy and which is working. Isusu, we try to use our comedy to also, challenge my toxic social norms and say so we also touch on topics like gender-based violence, drug abuse. We have a project that we actually finished in Guka. My team was producing it at Simuka Comedy. They were producing it from June until probably towards at the end of July. It's a project that is targeting Mufakose as a place to Shandisqua Christ of Math. So Guka actually means generation under key awareness. So we're trying to infuse our humor in order to bring out the problems that the Mufakose youngsters are facing from using drugs. And the kushandisa kwama-drugs wakaafekte munhu ari kurova ma-drugs chete kunoafekta even the people around them, which is why now we have my issues akaita se-rape that are also affecting a young girl child. So Kunoku, yes, it's unfortunate there is an issue of gun violence. We're here in Chicago today. There was also another mass shooting that happened. But in these laws that are, or policies that are probably set, we also need to come together as a people to, be able kubvunzurudza ukuthi wamukuti mtemo uyu is actually backfiring on us, pamwe hausi mtemo, why don't we do this? So isusu, we use satire to do that, to talk to the government, because satire is more like we're speaking the truth to the government. When we feel like the government has misstepped, when we feel like our leaders, not just in politics, our church leaders, our business owners, when we feel that they have misstepped, we use satire to try and show them that, yeah, this is how we did your things and you should have done it this way from how we sing things. So yeah, it's crazy, but it's all about having opportunities being made for these young people out there. We need a system that ensures kuti our youngsters, rather than kuti munhu akangopedza chikoro, either ane option yekuenda kunze kwenyika kana kuti yekuja street. Those are the two options that are there right now. And now we are facing brain drain because vanhu vacho vari kudzidza vari kuenda kunze. When they go out, it's not like they're going to be thinking about us. Vanenge vakutoitawo zvavo because they have actually noticed kuti when we are here, we are better off than being home. So it's high time us ourselves that are there in Africa to pick ourselves up and ensure that we create a sustainable model for us as Zimbabweans. Because young generation, no future mangwana. Ikafa is as good as the future is just dead.
And I'd like to differ a bit and say vechidiki are the leaders of today because muri kunyeperwa nemadharanzi muri vatungamiri vemangwana, and when tomorrow comes they don't want to give up leadership. Yeah.
That's true.
They keep telling you that you are the leaders of tomorrow.
Tomorrow ajasvike.
Tomorrow akasvika mangwana ajanza okay mira imbichana. And before you know it, you have gray hair. Nkosana, besides ama problems ehlasela abasakhulayo ngapha akhulunywa kudzai, akhona inamanye unique also wabonile. And not only that, from ama interactions akho labasakhulayo abavela kwamanye amazwe ase-Africa abaphansi kwe-Mandela Washington Fellowship, akhona yini amanye ama-problems owazwileyo bekhuluma ngokuthi hayi elizweni lethu inkinga ezihlasela abasakhulayo ezihamba phambili lezi?
Okay, into engayibonayo lapha engathi yanshoka mbijana nxa ukuthi sathi sifika and then sizama ukwenza ama-introductions, just trying to get to understand each other, sizwe lapha abavela khona, ukuthi izinto zenziwa njani, where they come from. I was actually surprised to know the problems that we have back home is the same problems that they have, if not worse. So we see what number one thing that is coming up in all the conversations that we're having as young leaders is in the way corruption. We see that corruption is everywhere, and it's a big problem. It's a big problem if you look throughout Africa. So we're just share my ideas, and you'll be thinking that no, where we're coming from, it's bad. But more to you interact with other people, then you see, hey, it's just a doom for all the 52 countries as Africa. So you really wonder, how best can it be dealt with, and all. Then another thing, my problems which I have seen here with locals is so we had an opportunity to come by and try Casa Mariniela. I don't know if we usually correct, but it's just a refugee camp which is about 10 kilometers away from Lapa Stala Corner. And so we're told to see a refugee camp. I was expecting one of Latin America or Mexico, because that's the idea that we had, which are abantu across into United States, abantu Mexico and Latin America. But we were surprised to get there, which is figure, and we found that more than 80% of our Tralapana, they were mainly Africans. And it was shocking. And then we got to talk to them just to understand them, all the way to America. And now they're narrating their journeys from Africa, which most of them, they fly from Africa into Brazil because they say, but Brazil, my visa restrictions are too much, unlike the other countries. Then they have to embark on a journey which can take up to 3 months. Any form of transport in the Amazon forest. And as we all know from geography, the Amazon forest in the in the harsh weather, and undergoing that journey, it's very, very, very difficult, and it was something very painful. And like is listening to some of the stories and the things that are making these guys to leave the African countries, which can be fixed. But it's said that the people who can fix these things are just quiet about them. Yeah.
And it is unfortunate, really, because many of them don't make it to America. Badliwa zinyoka, badliwa zinyamazana zendle endleleni lapho umuntu ecatshe ukuphela kungazakala ukuthi washonaphi.
Yeah, so we had a conversation with one of the guys over Ivory Coast, and was saying that they were a group of about 10, but there were only about 5. So half of them, they just lost their lives and just like that on the way. And obviously communication, sometimes they don't even have communication with people back home, and these are people who probably will never be seen by their families. And you can imagine the trauma that the families have to go through, knowing that their loved ones are out there and they've got too many questions left unanswered. Yeah, it's very, very painful.
Indeed. Chipo, any unique problems that you've had from your counterparts from other countries?
Oh, yes. I would like to talk from more of a gender perspective. I noticed that the same issues we have in regards to patriarchy are the same issues that women are facing in other parts of Africa as well. In terms of when you look at even political participation of women, we have less representation of women in political seats of all different political sectors. Also, women's participation is stifled in most leadership roles because they are looked as weaker counterparts to their male counterparts. We also noticed that as we were conversating with other fellows, that it is more to do with the social norms, the social values that people hold in those specific African countries or regions, that women are not allowed to do certain things, or women are not allowed to participate in roles that have to do with critical decision-making processes. So that is something that I noticed that stuck out to me.
as you guys return to Zimbabwe with all this wealth of experience from the Mandela Washington Fellowship training, starting off with you, Kudzai. By the way, Kudzai's first name is Wenceslas. I have challenges pronouncing it, but is Wenceslas Kudzai Katuka Aka Academy, the comic, Ariku Texas University, and he works with Simuka Comedy as Operation and Finance Director. Saga, as you return to Zimbabwe, Kudzai, what do you wish to change for yourself and for other young people?
So what I would want to change for myself is instead of focusing on me as a person, I would want to start creating opportunities for other people. Like we said, the people that are younger than me are the leaders of today. So I would want to do the same, ensure that we empower this young generation that is coming, AMA 2000, those Wapanas, they still don't know what they are doing with life, very experimental, and they don't really have that guidance from. It's an unpopular opinion, but it's something that I see because I also have a sister who's number 2000. So I think they need proper guidance to actually show them the direction that they should go through, so that they also don't fall into these traps that we have fallen into. But I would want to also come back and ensure that we build a systematic uh, industry for the arts, for comedy on my side, but having a proper industry that is set up to protect the comedians, as well as guarantee that our partners and audiences are having a good experience from the services that we offer, thereby creating a sustainable comedy market, sustainable comedy scene for the performers themselves, so that they also start making money and living off comedy, as well as ensuring that we empower people to fully express themselves, freely without any fear.
Any one or two individuals vakambopfurawo pasi pechirongwa ichi cheMandela Washington Fellowship that you admire, that you want to emulate as you come back?
Okay, yes. There is Munyaradzi Blogo from Magamba. He works at Magamba. There is Lucky Aroni from Bastop TV. These are the people that are also mainly within the sector of arts and fighting for social change, using digital content for TV as well as for social media. So these guys are people that empower me each and every day, because some of the things that they adopt or they are doing out there is also some of the things that I'm actually seeing from this side, that a lot of people haven't been able to be doing that side. So I still
And besides being changers of society, they are also employment creators.
Yes, that's true.
In Komazana, coming to you, as you go home, kuyini kahle kahle ofuna ukukutshintsha for yourself as an individual and labanye abasakhulayo okumqoka kwakhona?
Okay. For one thing that engifuna ukuyitshintsha mamphendula ekhaya is I just want to copy the ways people running their businesses decide, the professional manner in which they're doing things, or the way they're running their businesses. And we just try to paste that system back home and try to run our businesses professionally as well. We find that it helps now our business to akhule, and as our business now akhula, we see that we create new opportunities within our organizations, and we're able to take on more employees or take in more people who want to work. And we know that once we do that, there's always a multiplier effect of employment creation. We're able to get people out of the streets, we're able to get the youths out of drugs and all.
And Chipo, if you were to speak directly to those in power, what is it that you'd like them to fix so that you can flourish and prosper as a young person, as an individual, and collectively as young people?
Okay, for me, since I mostly focus on leadership, I'd really love for the older generation to really take on that responsibility to mentor us, not to see us as opponents, but to actually mentor us to take up the leadership roles that they are currently in. And to realize that we as young people have the ability to bring in creative and innovative solutions when it comes to decision-making spaces and leadership roles. So I'd really love for the older people, those in influential leadership roles, to actually look at us as people that are worthy to take up space, to sit at the tables of influence and bring in really critical and valuable inputs to making the nation a better place.
As we head towards the 2023 general elections, I know there's kulodaba lokubhalisela ukuvota oluhluphayo nyaya yekunyoresera kuvota musarudzodza 2023. Siyazi Chipo abasakhulayo abaningi sikhuluma lenhlanganiso ezijiyeneyo zithi hayi igengeno ikhanya ayilandaba lokubhalisela ukuvota, uyamlanda umuntu, you offer them i-transport yokuthi hambe ebhalise, yakutshela ukuthi mina vele into zokubhalisela ukuvota lezokuvota vele angizingeni. What would you want to say to abantu abanjalo?
It's interesting because a few weeks ago we went to the Civil Rights Museum, and we had to go across and see the things that the Black population here in America did for them to gain freedom and independence. So I would like to say, Wuti, to the younger generation, it is quite honorable to go out there. It is your right to vote. And also, you are actually appreciating, by voting, you're appreciating what our ancestors or the older generations have done for us as probably, I would say, Africans to be where we are. And I know that for most of us, it's in this African landscape, it's mostly where Africans are against Africans. But I believe that if we go out there and vote to bring about change, we will be able to progress and move forward. So young people, it is very important, it's very critical to go out there and vote. It is you putting in your opinion through voting. It is you making that change through your voting.
Mm-hmm. So, and it doesn't matter really whether you vote for ZANU-PF or you vote for Triple C, you vote for Mtwakazi, or ukuthi exercise that right to vote.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's true, because we've had instances where people could not be allowed to vote in certain instances. So when you have reached a place where young people can now freely vote, I say make use of the opportunity and go for it. Make your voice heard through your vote in whatever, whichever you want to vote for, it doesn't matter. But the fact that you have to exercise your rights as a young person, you only live once, so why not exercise your right while you're still alive?
Kuzai izvizvo ungadawo kutaura nezera rako nenyaya yekunyoresera kuvhota.
Vave vanonyoresera kuvhota nekuti chinhu chakakosha. This is a national process which gives a national decision, so it's for us all to take part into it. But one thing that I would also want to point out is chinoitika chacho ndechekuti vakawanda vacho tiri kungonovhota zvedu, but tiri kunovhota tisingazive zvatiri kuvhotera or zvatisiri kuvhotera. So I think there is need for more election education, voter education that needs to be done to people so that they also really understand what this whole politics thing is about. Vanokwanisa kuziva kuti, okay, if I'm voting for a particular candidate, this is what I need in a candidate. If I'm voting for a particular candidate, this is what I need in a candidate. So I think Ibaba Pachine a big gap when it comes to voter education. I think everyone to vote for anyone because it's something that will change our life, or that will not change our life if we don't do that.
What you are saying, Kudzai, is striking because you'd expect kuti munhu wese ange achiziva because of the problems, the challenges that we have. You'd expect pretty much everyone to be engaged. Chizwa kuti matambudziko atikusangana nawo ndeaya, and those are bread and butter issues. Ari kukonzerwa ne-A, B, C, and D. And saka kana tichinovhota, tinenge tichivhotera izvi neizvi neizvi, unless really if somebody is from planet Mars or some other planet out there, out of our galaxy.
So that's very true, because of what's happening, would expect these guys to know. But there's also some issues that are deeper than that. When you start comparing these nationalities that are in Africa, you see that some are making progress because of AB. For example, I would give an example of Rwanda right now. Rwanda right now is one of the fastest growing African economies because the president there and the people that are supporting him are working for the people. So there's an issue here, servant leadership, that they are running with. But now in Zimbabwe, everyone is corrupt now in a way, because we have learned from the best. So now in a way we are just trying to live off something. Saka munhu akangwana chinhu chinomudyisa, whether ipati ipi yaanofarira uye asingafarire, that person is just going to try to at least get a living, because remangwana hapana anoriziva. So that's one thing that's now out there. Kuti mindset yedu yatongomirira kuti if I can live nhasi ndikakwanisa kuwana, so I can be able to join a political party as long as they are doing this for me. But that's not really where we are supposed to be as a nation. We really need to understand how we can change this whole thing. And yeah,
they have to register to vote. Kwete kuswera muchimhanyisa mbinga dzinenge dzakakwira motokari, and you see these young people chasing after that. I'm like, this is a sorry sight, really.
It's very unfortunate for us, the leaders of today. So
yeah, well said. Then Nkosana, kuqakatheke kanganani ukuthi ontanga bakho babhalisele ukuvota?
Yeah, indaba yokuvota, it's a very important thing. If you look at it, it's the only way for us to be heard. If we try to look at it, I feel like voting, it becomes then the stepping stone or the fundamental step, the first thing that we have to do before we even talk of participating in discussions or mapping the way forward for the country. So we have to go back and say, let's get there. Let's register as a voter. And because we are the majority, so we play a very important role when it comes to elections. So it's up to us now to also take the responsibility, and then we go out there and we register to vote.
Le ndaba zama-drugs, betshane lama-drugs abasakhulayo lokutshona begijimisa imbinga, angazi ngesindebele lithi ngunombazilabizo.
Yeah, we need role models. We need role models on Zimbabwe. We need to look at for new role models. Tole abantu abasinspire as njengama youth ukuthi singaphongu phetshulwa umoya, whatever comes esigijimelele. We just need to stay focused. Sibekwazi ukuthi what is it that we want to achieve kusasa, then also work on the culture and the success. Yeah, it's not an easy step, by the way. It will take time, but people just have to remain focused. That's the most important thing.
And as we wrap up, this is Studio 7, uhlelo The Connection, okuluhlelo lwabasakhulayo. Chirongwa chatinokupa kurai nechipuswe chipiri wega wega. Tonight we had 3 guests who are part of the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Vari kuno kuAmerica vachiita zvidzidzo zveutungamiri and vakuhlanganiso kumakoleji achieneyo. As we wrap up, Kudzai, let me come back to you. Ivezera rako and the younger generation, kana tichitarisa mukana wamawana kuya kuno kuAmerica under the Mandela Washington Fellowship, avo vasina kuwana mukana wekupinda muchirongwa ichi, vasina kuwana that training yamawana, zvii zvamungavakurudzira?
It's now rests on us isusu vakawana the chance yekuya kuno kuti tive tinokwanisa kuenda and share the knowledge that we got here, the connections that we got here, so that we also move together as a nation. And also, if there are any that are still planning to be part of this program, it's a program that happens on an annual basis, so it's still there. There's still a chance for them to apply and get selected. There's quite a number of people, and I applied for the first time and then I got in, but there's a number of people that were saying they actually got selected probably in their 5th time of application, in their 7th time of application. So it's a very good program that I would recommend the people my age could divide it, but it's also up to us, those that came here, to go there and be able to transform and share the knowledge that I amassed from this side.
Nkosana, iwapha amazonga athanda ukuwatshela abasakhulayo.
Okay, I'll just echo what Kadem said. It's up to us now as the leaders. We go back to our societies or communities and we educate and we just share with others, so that we just try to build the Africa we want. We just try to build the communities we want. So then apply. I just encourage them to keep on doing the good work in their societies or in their spaces. One thing that I was told growing up is that hard work is always seen. So if you keep on working hard, one day, one way or the other, someone will recognize you and you get the opportunity. So I just encourage them to keep on working hard, to stay at it, and everything is going to work out for them.
And seen as in S-E-E-N, not S-I-N, right, Komazana?
Yes, correct.
Thank you, Day. And because we honor ladies on this program, Chipo, you have the last word.
Okay, I think what I would have to say to other younger people is that your contribution matters. So if you feel that you have to make a change somewhere in any way within your capacity, please do so. And while you are doing that, be your authentic self. Do not try to be somebody else. As you are doing that, along the way, as you are paving your path, as you are carving your path, people are going to start recognizing, and people are going to come along and want to help you to be that. So continue to do the great work that you are doing to young people out there. And I would say apply for this fellowship. It will definitely be a transforming process to go through. And if anyone would love to know how to go about the process, I'm glad to help.
Well said there. That's Chipo Paradzai of the Refined Hearts. She's the founder and a director, and currently was in North Carolina with the Appalachian State University. You also heard from Nkosana Nkomazana, Ose University of Texas, and he's with the Fit Body and Bios Energy companies. Thanks also to Kadem, the comic, once Lesi Kudzai Katuka. He's with Nkomazana at the University of Texas, and he works for the Simuka Comedy as Operation and Finance Director. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Please feel free to come back on the show anytime. We thank you so much.
Really appreciate you having us. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you. Siyabonga.